meaningful border policy changes. And for whatever reason people come up with, they don't want it anymore. That's going to be a pretty tough position to stand by. So, so they're saying a couple things, right? Well, we'll never vote for it if it's attached to Ukraine. Really? Like, we get meaningful border policy for Ukraine aid? You're not going to vote for that? So you want Russia to win more than you want border policy changes? That's a tough. You defend that. Some people say, oh, well, Biden wants it now because it's helpful to him politically. Okay, I want border security. That's what I told my constituents that I would do for them. So if we can get that deal, that's a no-brainer.
Spoken like a true conservative, actually. Spoken like a true conservative. My feeling, what do I always say? I'm always open to converts. I don't care why. I don't care why they come to the side of reason. You know what? Gene Robinson knows. He's from South Carolina. He grew up in the church like me. Preachers, they don't care what got you to the baptismal area. They just are glad you're there. But here's Dan Crenshaw speaking the truth, saying it's bizarre. We Republicans have been pushing for border security for years, and we have a Democratic president and a Republican Senate that's going to give it to us. And now we hate Ukraine more than we like border security. And Gene, let's just underline again today for our friends that may not have been watching yesterday, though we know everybody watches 4 hours every day. It's important to remember we have a Speaker of the House that has taken the pro-Putin line in every vote on Ukraine aid. Every time he gave aid and comfort to Vladimir Putin by voting against aid for Ukraine to push back the Russian invaders. And so here's Crenshaw saying, wait, do we really like Vladimir Putin so much that we're going to give up the best border deal we will ever get? And that's what Republicans are saying. The best border deal we will ever get.
Yeah, Senate Republicans have pointed out, Mitch McConnell and John Thune and others have pointed out, they will never get this deal. Even if Republicans were to take the presidency in both houses of Congress, they would still need 60 votes in the Senate to pass a deal, and they wouldn't get it. This is the best they're going to get, and yet they will not take yes for an answer because they think Donald Trump, or they know Donald Trump doesn't want them to. And so they're saying no. And let's talk about Mike Johnson for a minute. You know, Mike Johnson is the Speaker of the House, right? He's not just the representative of his district in Louisiana. He is the third-ranking official in our government. He has a broader duty to the country. The United States has made commitments. It's made a commitment of this Ukraine aid, and that commitment has to be fulfilled. And I remember back when Nancy Pelosi first became Speaker of the House under George W. Bush, the Iraq War needed to be funded. A bill had to be passed to fund the Iraq War. She was against the Iraq War by then. Her entire Democratic caucus, which controlled the House, was against the Iraq War. But she knew it had to be done. She couldn't leave the troops hanging. She had to fulfill U.S. commitments, and so she split up the funding bill into a couple of pieces. One piece, all her caucus could get to vote, "We hate the war." On the other piece, they and Republicans, and she can count, so she got the number of votes she needed, would pass the money. And so she did it, and she didn't do it because she wanted to do it or she liked to do it. It was her duty as Speaker of the House. I wonder what job Mike Johnson thinks he has now. But he needs to understand that he has broader responsibilities, and these include fulfilling U.S. commitments overseas.
They do. And just think about that for a second. You have Nancy Pelosi, and I will say, even though he drove me crazy and I helped, run him out of the speakership, time and again, Newt Gingrich was faced with things he didn't want to do. things that he was against. But just like you're saying, Gene, just like Nancy Pelosi, Gingrich, and other speakers that I saw up close were like, there's our responsibility. We don't like it. We can try to make a change by voting. But yes, we've got to keep America's commitment at home and across the globe. And here you have, Willie, you wonder what Dan Crenshaw and Mike McCall and other people who actually support freedom in Europe, support freedom across the West, want to see the Russian invaders pushed back or at least held where they are so Putin can't march into Kyiv. You wonder what they're thinking when they see Senate Republicans working their tails off on a bipartisan package that would increase border security and push Putin back. But they're facing opposition from this speaker who, instead of worrying, a Republican, who instead of worrying about America's commitments across the globe and freedom in Europe and freedom across the West, he's concerned about 3 or 4 backbenchers. And also, he's getting calls from whom? Donald Trump, who's telling him, reject it.
Bingo. Donald Trump is running the operation, telling the speaker what to do. And by the way, listening to that soundbite from Congressman Crenshaw, I haven't heard anybody put it more concisely. By the way, Dan Crenshaw is an actual patriot. There are a lot of people running around calling themselves patriots, a guy who served the country and gave his eye and earned a Purple Heart, a guy who cares about the country, saying effectively, I don't care if somebody looks at this as a win for Joe Biden or whatever political question you want to lay over this. I want border security. We have in front of us a border security deal. Take the deal, he's saying. And he also folded in the question of Russia and their aggression and backing Ukraine. So to your point, there is a deal. There is a deal to be had in the Senate. The question is whether the House will take it. This is Senator Thom Tillis of North Carolina, Republican, been involved in the negotiations on the Senate side, reacting to the revelation that Donald Trump is, in fact, working behind the scenes to torpedo the Senate deal.
I respectfully disagree with the president. I mean, he could not have possibly seen what we're negotiating. And so I'll reserve judgment on that after it's been made public. But I think what James Lankford has done is good work, and we should support it. When the bill is released and everyone, particularly conservatives and President Trump, sees the tools that will be available to a President Trump should he win the election, to lose this opportunity to get it passed into law, I think is malpractice.